figure we better start this video off with a stock dad joke. What do you call an alligator from the stock market? An investigator. All right, I know that was a bad one, but I thought it was kind of funny. Before we get into my review of the McMillan U-1 rifle stock, I do want to disclose my relationship with McMillan. There is no business relationship. They're not paying me to make this video. However, they did support one of my previous videos, how to build a precision rifle at home. You can check that video out up there if you're watching on YouTube, or check out gunsandtactics.com and search for precision rifle. But they did supply this rifle stock here for that project. And what I really liked about McMillan right off the bat, when I reached out to them and was looking for partners, they provided the stock and they said, hey, our universal stock is going to be perfect for that because it requires no bedding and it'll basically just be plug and play. But one of the things that I thought was great was they said, hey, say whatever you want. When you make your video, say whatever you want. We're not going to ask for a preview. We're not going to ask for any revisions. You share your full opinion on the rifle stock. Whether you like it, whether you hate it, whatever, you do you. And that's totally fine with us. We're proud of our product, we stand behind it, and we're confident in our product, so you do whatever. And I thought that was really great. Now, I had the pleasure of running this stock in a few matches, various practice sessions, even a class, and I have to say that I am really impressed with the stock. Now, I'm not gonna get into the whole stock versus chassis thing, but generally when it comes down to it, it seems like I come back to the ergonomics and the comfort and the feel of a stock. And a fine quality rifle stock like this is really, really hard to beat. This is my favorite rifle stock that I've used to date. And I've used a few others from McMillan and from some other brands, and the ergonomics of the McMillan is amazing. Now, let's talk about price and availability. Right now, these are pretty much built to order. However, they do have some in stocks on the webpage that you can check out. I'll put a link down below. But most people, what they do is they do the build to order. But basically, you give them what action you're using. Now, pricing is going to depend on what options you select. Now, if you wanted to, you could get a basic stock with no inletting, so you could do the inletting yourself if you're creative, if you feel that you have the ability to do so. Otherwise, what most people are going to get is a full inlet, so that's going to be inletted in the top for the action and the bottom for the bottom metal. And then you can add a variety of options. They have different color options, they have different cheek pad options, they have different butt pad options, they have different rails. We'll get into all that. But realistically, expect to spend around $1,000 for a quality custom fiberglass rifle stock. I know it's a lot of money, but I have been very happy. Now, you're looking at my screen here, and you can see that I have 3 rifle stocks. The reality is, I got the first one, and then I started buying more. Now, I did receive a little bit of industry pricing because, again, I own a gun shop. I work in the industry. Getting stuff at wholesale is pretty typical for a wide variety of products. But the reality is, I bought stocks because I like these so much. I have another one on the way for another gun that's coming. And I just am really, really impressed with McMillan rifle stocks. So let's take a close look at one of them here. For all of the internet range safety officers out there, you can tell that my rifles are unloaded because I have these awesome chamber flags from Cromulent Design. You can check out my video up there I did on these chamber flags and get your own because they are really awesome for precision rifles. But let's talk about finish real quick. They are available in a painted variety, so you can pick different camouflage options or solid colors, and those are going to be a little bit more inexpensive. It is basically an external, almost kind of like a textured finish. Has just a little bit of a pebble feel, which feels really nice, gives you a good grip. Wide variety of colors, different options. You can check out the webpage for those. Otherwise, if you wanted to add your own kind of flair, if you will, you know me, I like my colors. And yes, this is a sticker. But you can get molded in finishes as well. So this has the carbon fiber with some color gel molded in, and I picked gray and green because it really went well with, well, everything that I like pretty much. But these are a smooth finish. It almost feels a little harder, even though it's the same fiberglass body, if you will, but the external kind of has more of a polished feel to it. Feels really, really nice. And you can get this in a variety of colors as well. You can get custom colors. So on my center fire gun, again, sticking with the gray and green, I wanted to do a little bit more of a subdued look. So this is almost like a marble, if you will. And this is black, gray, with just a few hints of the neon green that you can kind of tell. So this particular combination was, I believe, 60% black, 30% gray, and 10% neon green. And if I were doing it again, I would maybe bump up the neon green to maybe 20% just to get a little bit more, but I still think it is just absolutely gorgeous. Just looking at that, it just, again, kind of has that cool marble countertop look to it, and they just did a great job. If you are using the rifle for more of a tactical purpose, there are a wide variety of camouflage paint finishes, or you can come up with your own molded in camouflage finish as well. Make sure you check out the webpage. You can also search online for various galleries that have nothing but tons of pictures of the cool concoctions and combinations people have come up with using the molded in option from McMillan. That's how I got a lot of inspiration, for what colors I like as far as the ratios and things like that. Start with the back and move our way forward on some of the options and features that I really like about the stock and why I'm going to continue to use these stocks. As far as with the back, you can have different options. You can have either an adjustable system where you take the pad off and you could add spacers, but once I kind of figured out what length I liked, I just ordered it with a fixed length and then just a padded pad, if you will, padded pad, and that works really well for me. You can also add QD sockets in a wide variety of locations. Most popular is going to be on the back, on the side, and then somewhere on the front for a sling. Now, there are other accessories that you can use. I know some people hang bags and stuff like that off of there. With the rear hook here, it has a good bag rider that is level, and then it has a nice spot for your support hand to really, lock that into your shoulder when you're shooting prone or from a position. So I thought ergonomically on the back and the bottom of the stock, it aligns up with my shooting style and preferences. Moving to the top, you do have an adjustable cheek piece. All I do is I loosen the thumb screw and I can then raise and lower the cheek piece to an appropriate height. Now what I've done to some of my other stocks, and I'll do it to this one as well, is I added this little collar here just so I have a repeatable position. So if I take the cheek piece off for cleaning or want to move it or whatever, it immediately almost has like a zero stop, and you can check out my video on how I did that right up there. Now again, the cheek piece is just great. It's very comfortable. You can add a variety of pads like WeBad or preference of your choice, but once you get that set to that optimal position for ergonomic and eye alignment with your optic, you just snug that up and it's solid. It's not going anywhere. One of my favorite features about the stock is the ergonomics. And one of the things that I absolutely love about the U-1 is the ambi thumb shelf. It is on both sides. So some stages you will have to shoot reaction side or offhand, whatever you want to call it. But I like that the stock has a slight swept angle, and then again, it has that nice spot for my thumb. And I found having this spot for my thumb just gave me that consistency. And there was a few stages where you kind of had to get on the gas a little bit, run the action, get back on, run the action, get back on. And the thumb shelf really was a nice repeatable index for me. I found that the thumb shelf gave me a consistent grip, allowing me to align my finger on the trigger in a nice and comfortable angle, allowing me to get that perfect press straight back to the rear pretty much all the time as long as I was doing my part. Now moving into the inlet, again, kind of like what we talked about, the straight edges here, there is no cutout for the ejection port. Typically, you'd have a U-shaped cut that would align with the ejection port, and on a rimfire stock, that U ejector cut would be much shorter because it's a rimfire versus a centerfire, which would be much longer. But as you can see here, the beautiful straight lines accommodate a rimfire or a centerfire just fine. As far as the inlet, you don't need to bed it. I was really skeptical of this. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, yeah, okay, no bedding, right. I gotta say, no bedding. The centerfire, when it was in the painted stock, shot amazing. When it's been in this stock, it shot amazing, no bedding. I was kind of surprised, not gonna lie. Part of the reason that you don't need to bed is because we do have a nice stable platform that includes the aluminum pillars, and then they come down to where the bottom metal is. Now, you have to let them know what bottom metal you are going to be using. So if you're going to be using a standard, Badger type or M5 or the Voodoo or whatever, let them know so they can, inlet this appropriately. But the nice thing is with either Voodoo or centerfire guns, as long as it's an AICS type bottom metal, you can keep your bottom metal and work just fine. I'm using the SOL Strategic bottom metal. I have that on a couple of rifles now. Really, really like the bottom metal. That's going to probably be my go-to bottom metal moving forward. So again, great inlet, both top and bottom. Nice oversized pocket for the recoil lug. So some of the aftermarket actions are using a very, very large recoil lug. No issues whatsoever there. And then the channel is just really huge, nice and open, very large for a lot of the aftermarket builds or the popular builds. So for my centerfire rifle, you can see here, I've got like a truck axle for a barrel. At the largest portion of the barrel, it's just over an inch, and as you can see, I still have free float clearance all the way around, even as the barrel starts to taper. And this is a thick barrel, like I said. Your standard varmint or Remington 700, profile is gonna fit just fine. You'll have excess, room, but no issues whatsoever with that. Now, one thing that I did notice is that on the molded in colors, when they do the barrel channel, you will see some of the bare fiberglass material here. And if that bugs you, like it was on this gun here, and obviously it's not as noticeable. All I did was when I had it out is I just took some flat black epoxy spray paint and I just kind of sponged it in there just to darken that up, just because I thought it would look a little bit better. But, you can certainly do that easy enough on your own. Now, some of the other cool things, again, options, you can add QD sockets up front, and on the bottom, this particular one is plain because I forgot to order it with an ARCA rail. So I will be doing a future video of adding that. Now you can see the bottom of this particular version here, I do have their ARCA type rail. And this is great because you can attach bags, you can attach bipods. This, in my opinion, is the way to go if you're getting into precision rifle. It's just awesome. I wish I would have done it sooner, and it just works out really slick. But how they attach this is really solid. A lot of people assume that, oh, they just use like a wood screw or something into the fiberglass, and then do they have to worry about this tearing out? Let me show you what the other side looks like. Let me tear this down here quick. But you can see here that the threaded metal receptacle is actually molded and epoxied into the stock. The metal screw that's holding the rail is actually threaded through the stock, and then it attaches to this metal receptacle, this stainless hardware that is inside there. So you don't have to worry about anything cracking or coming loose, even under hard use of kind of, throwing your precision rifle around or moving it in and off of barricades or whatever. It is a very solid and robust securing method. Same thing with the QD sockets. Those are really, really secured well, epoxied in place. I would never really worry about pulling one out or having one of these screws for the rail coming out. Speaking of the fore end, we have a flat edge, and then a flat edge on the other side. It is basically almost like a rectangle. And some people might say, well, isn't that uncomfortable? Well, the reality is we're not really shooting offhand in precision rifle that often. In the times that I did have to shoot offhand, I found that flat surface great, and I was able to make some offhand hits, so no issues. And even when I would have to grab it, it's still very comfortable. But here's what I absolutely love about these flat edges. If I have to brace this off of a barricade or a support object, no problem. Round on a square object is very hard to do, but yet flat object on flat object, it's much easier to get stable. Additionally, this nice wide flat surface yields itself very well for obviously the ARCA plate, as I talked about before, but also it rides on a support bag incredibly well. Shooting off of a bag is one of the things that we do all the time in precision rifle, whether it's a front bag, whether it's your rear bag or whatever, and I found that the stock rode bags and settled into bags incredibly well. I didn't have that teeter-totter, that rock feeling, and I found that using the stock just to brace and get more stable was a very, very enjoyable experience. Assembling the stock is super straightforward. It's literally as simple as taking your action, I like to put them upside down, aligning your stock and bottom metal in place, making sure the recoil lug is having contact. But for now, I'm just gonna snug the screws, put the rear screw in, the front screw, and all we have to do is just snug. Again, make sure action is centered. Voodoo does recommend putting a magazine in here. For the purposes of this video, I don't have one handy, so just gonna make sure that that recoil lug is, basically sitting in that pocket on the stock. So I'm just gonna give it a couple little taps here to make sure it's seated properly. Put it back upside down. Inch-pound torque driver set to 65 inch-pound. Everybody always asks what torque driver I use. Borka adjustable torque driver. Love these. With his bit, get that click. 65 inch-pounds, I'm just gonna verify. Perfect. Can then do function checks. I can go grab some dummy rounds, head to the range, verify everything's feeding. But I know that this is a reliable setup because I have a lot of rounds through this particular action and this configuration, but that's as simple as it is. Now, shooting it, again, what I loved is the ergonomics. You've seen various clips of me using this, but in a variety of situations, a variety of props, a variety of obstacles or whatever, having, again, that repeatability, whether it's something as simple as the prone position or shooting in and out, off obstacles, whatever, I absolutely loved the stock. It was great. My shooting experience with the U-1 has been incredibly positive. I love the fact that I don't have to worry about bedding, making even assembly at home relatively simple. Again, my precision rifle build video came together super great, and a large part of that was because of the stock, that everything just worked together really, really well. Ergonomics, I love the look, but all in all, it's just a great all-around package that I think you would love if you're looking for a high-end stock. If you guys want to learn more and to order your own, check out the webpage. You can search online for McMillan fiberglass rifle stocks, or we will put a link in the description below. If you do end up making an order, please let them know that you saw the video at Guns and Tactics. I really would appreciate that. And I really hope you enjoy your precision rifle shooting, and hopefully it's a build with a McMillan U-1. If you have any questions about this build, precision rifle stuff, or anything in general, go ahead and leave a comment in the section below. Or if you want to see your question get on our QA episode, which we do at the end of every month, where I answer your questions, send us an email to the email address shown below. That's the QA@gunsandtactics.com. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great day. We work really hard to make content that we hope you as a shooter would enjoy. Subscribe to our channel, check out our featured videos and playlists, and if you have a question firearms related, go ahead and send an email to the address shown on the screen to be entered into our monthly QA series.